A couple years ago, I was addicted to binge eating. I was consuming junk food all the time. I was not locked in on my diet. And then after 6 months of doing the right thing, after eating in the right way, I built a fairly aesthetic physique. I made a lot of progress in this area of my life. And now my diet is something that truly works for me and not against me. The truth is that being healthy is simple. It's not very complicated. And if you follow the 5 principles of health I use to improve my own life, you will improve your life as well. But first, let's look at these two guys, Timmy and Alexander. Timmy eats like a toddler. You see Timmy on a random day in the McDonald's drive-thru. You spot him walking to 7-Eleven to get a bag of Doritos. Then Timmy decides he's going to improve himself. So he jumps around from extreme diet to extreme diet. He tries the carnivore diet, he tries intermittent fasting, and then he tries the keto diet. And because of this lack of discipline and knowledge, Timmy never makes any progress. Alexander sees the modern men of our generation and is in disbelief at how many of us are indulging in junk food and ruining our progress. Alexander could never. He eats like a king. And because of this, Alexander lives the lifestyle that we all dream of. He attracts the women. He builds the great physique. So how can we become more like Alexander and less like Timmy? That's what we're going to cover in this video. The first principle of a healthy diet is nothing extreme. I had a conversation with my girlfriend the other week, and she was talking about how a reason why she thinks a lot of people struggle with their diet, like people that she knows in her own personal life, is because they keep hopping around from extreme diet to extreme diet. They see one guy talking about, oh, try the carnivore diet. They see another guy talking about, oh, try a 2 or 3 day fast. They see another guy talking about, oh, do the vegan diet. And because of this, it causes a lot of confusion around what's the best diet, what should I do? And because of that, they never get consistent on one thing and never actually get results. It's just like shiny object syndrome, where you see one thing, then another thing, and you keep jumping around and trying different things. It's the same thing you see guys do with exercises all the time. They see one guy saying, oh, do bench press. One guy says, do incline bench press. One guy says, do dumbbell bench press. And it's like, no. The best thing you can do for your diet is just have something simple, which brings me into the second principle of a healthy diet. It's simple and it's healthy. Something I hear fitness YouTubers talk about all the time that I just think is so cringe and just really bad advice is, oh yeah, if it fits your macros, you can eat it, which from a fat loss standpoint is completely true. If you eat in a calorie deficit, you will lose weight. If you eat in a calorie surplus, you will gain weight. That is facts. That's completely true. But you have these fitness YouTubers showing them, oh yeah, I'm eating Cinnamon Toast Crunch today before my workout. Diet is not as simple as just calories in, calories out. Sure, from a fat loss standpoint it is, but from a health standpoint, are you gonna be healthier eating Cinnamon Toast Crunch or eating eggs and potatoes? Like, of those two things, which one are you gonna feel better doing? Sure, from a calorie standpoint, they might be the same, but it's also about how it affects your gut microbiome, how it makes you feel, the digestion. Foods that are healthy will make you feel better. They'll give you less brain fog. They'll make you feel more energized. Like, really think about that. Are you gonna have more energy going into a workout after eating chicken and rice or steak and potatoes or eating freaking Cinnamon Toast Crunch? Like, which one are you gonna feel better after eating? It's not that complicated. For example, look at the ingredients on something like chicken tenders versus just normal chicken. Like, normal chicken is literally just chicken. Or look at the difference in ingredients on some French fries versus just fresh potatoes. So always opt for the simpler and healthier alternative. And an easy way you can think about it is eat foods that are super low in ingredients. Like, if you look at the back of the ingredients list, right? It's just 1 or 2 ingredients. For potatoes, it's just potatoes. For beef, it's just beef. Versus, like, if you get French fries, you'll see there's 100 different ingredients in there. So opt for simple and healthy food. And by the way, if you've been struggling with building muscle, locking in your diet routine, and you would like my personal help along this journey, the link to my coaching program will be in the description. In there, I teach you everything you need to know about building an aesthetic physique and getting in the best shape of your life and building a body that's actually attractive. The third thing you have to do is you have to dial in your macros. So for protein, you want to get in about 1 gram per pound of body weight. Now, technically, the scientific answer is 0.8 grams per pound of body weight, but I just go for 1. It's just easier to think of, and more protein isn't gonna hurt you. So you get 1 gram per pound of body weight. The reason why protein is so important and you have to get it in is because it's what builds muscle. Protein is the building block of muscle. If you don't get your amount of protein in, you're not gonna be maximizing the amount of muscle you can build and just end up putting on more fat. So what are some examples of healthy proteins you can do? You can do beef, you can do eggs, you can do chicken, Fish is also extremely good. Now, a lot of guys will recommend protein powder, and I think if you're very skinny and you need to get in protein, there might be some benefits in using protein powder, but me personally, I don't use protein powder because I think it has some health concerns. There's a lot of ingredients in there. Some of them have some weird stuff in them. So if you're very skinny and you absolutely have to eat protein powder to get the amount of protein in, then sure, use protein powder. It's not the worst thing. Like, it's not the worst thing in the world. It's still pretty good for you, but I just opt to eat more meat and more eggs and stuff instead of protein powder. And if you're struggling with getting your protein in, my biggest piece of advice would be to have an extremely protein heavy breakfast, right? Instead of having a bunch of cereal or a bunch of potatoes, eat something like a few eggs and some beef, right? Eat something that has a lot of protein in the morning. That way you get it out of the way early. For me, I always have some sort of eggs and sausage or eggs and beef every single morning. Then the rest of the diet after you get the protein in is fairly simple. Just fill up the rest with fats and carbs. And a lot of people will say, oh yeah, don't eat a lot of fat. Fat's bad for you. But actually getting a healthy amount of fat, about 50 to 70 grams of fat a day, is essential for your testosterone levels. If you're not getting enough fat in your diet, if you're completely avoiding it, it's gonna completely crash your hormones and you're not gonna do very well with it. So what are some healthy fats you can eat? Because of course you wanna avoid the saturated fats, things like French fries or things that have a lot of weird shit in them. But some good fats you can eat are things like avocados, almonds, peanuts. Any kind of nut really is good for fats, but you don't need to completely avoid fats because there's this bad stigma around fat and not eating fat, but getting some fat in your diet is absolutely essential. Now, the fourth thing I'm gonna talk about, how do you navigate your cheat days? A lot of people will say, oh yeah, I have one cheat day every single week. This is the day that I have my cheat day. I don't think that's the right way to go about it. Let me explain why. You're essentially rewarding yourself by harming your progress. That to me does not make any sense. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have this cheat day every single week. No, I don't think that's the right way to go about it. I believe the right way to go about your cheat days is on a week-to-week basis, day-to-day basis, as you're going about your day-to-day life, you eat healthy. You're never the guy, never ever the guy who drives to McDonald's on just a regular day by himself, or you just sit in your room and you just eat chips. You never ever do that. When you're doing things on a day-to-day basis in your normal life, you eat healthy, you eat clean. And then on a special occasion, absolutely be okay with eating junk food, indulging a little bit. If you go out with your family for dinner, like the other day I went out with my family, I got a cheeseburger, no problem at all, and some French fries because I've been disciplined recently. Or you go out to take a girl for a date and you want to get an ice cream, no problem at all. That's completely fine. There was this one time, kind of off topic, but I was making cookies with my girlfriend and we were putting we were supposed to decorate them. And I saw that the food dye had red 40 in it. And I freaked out of that. I was like, oh, I'm not going to eat red 40. Oh, that's bad for you. Shut the up, bro. Just enjoy yourself with your girlfriend. I look back at that and I cringe so much. I was like, just enjoy yourself a little bit. So yeah, that's how you go about cheat days, is don't obsess over it. Don't have cheat days every single day or every single week, but in moderation on a special occasion, no problem to enjoy yourself every now and then. Now, the fifth principle of a healthy diet, you have to set a goal. You have to know, based on your current fitness goals, what you're trying to achieve, what type of diet you're going to need. If you're super skinny, you need to bulk. You need to be in a calorie surplus, about 300 to 500 calorie surplus. If you're super overweight, you need to cut. You need to focus on eating in a calorie deficit. And if you're kind of skinny fat like I was when I started my journey, then you need to eat in a maintenance calorie level where you're eating the exact amount of calories that you burn a day. That way you can build muscle and burn fat at the same time. But the reason why a lot of guys don't make much progress in their fitness journey and with their diet is because they don't have any goals. They're just going to the gym and just eating however much they want to eat. They're not tracking anything, and because of that, they don't make as much progress. So what you need to do if you want to get ahead, you want to be the guy who actually makes progress, you have to set a diet, a plan, and you have to stick to it. You got to track your calories, you got to track your macros, you got to make sure you're hitting your goals every day, and then adjust over time. If you need to eat more, you eat more. If you need to eat less, you eat less. But the beauty of tracking your calories is that you always know how much you're consuming, so you can adjust. But if you don't track your calories, you're just guessing. And if you're just guessing, you don't really deserve to get results. So be the guy who's disciplined, who tracks his calories, Yeah, it might take you a couple more minutes every single day, but are you really gonna let 5 minutes of work a day stop you from making progress? If you are, don't be shocked when it's been a few months and you haven't made any gains. But if you're willing to put in the work, if you're willing to put in the little extra effort, you will make progress. So with that being said, with your diet, just stay disciplined, keep eating healthy, and also have a reason for why you're doing it. It's a lot harder to be consistent if you don't have any goals. But say to yourself, like, I want to improve myself. I want to build a 10 out of 10 physique. I want to get in good shape. I want to become attractive to a girl. I want to improve myself. And if you do that, I guarantee you, you will make progress and become the best version of yourself. I'll see you for the next video, bro.